got in, got in after some fight, thanks to the stubbornness of my dad or my father, who insisted, and they let him in. Get him in, they said, provided that he does well. If he doesn't do well after 3 months, kick him out, right? We agreed. And I was in it until the end, until I matriculated in 1948. Well, okay. Now, I can't talk too long. I don't want to take too much time, but there are a couple of more points I want to talk about quickly. I hope quickly. One is we lived during the 30s, and I began to hear of something that was annoying, and that is our country was in danger. I could hear people say, the adult people, my dad and the neighbors, that these Jews are coming to take our country. And I didn't, of course, I wouldn't, most of the time I wouldn't believe it. I would say, no, my father is big and strong, and my neighbor is big and strong, and we would beat them anyway. And as I grew older, things began to sound a little bit differently. That is to say, these newcomers, these strangers, are not as weak or as simple as you would think. So I began to feel apprehensive. And this apprehension is very important. It kept really nagging all through that period from 1932, that is, to 1948. So this state of apprehension was there. And then the last point, that's what happened finally. This apprehension became stronger and stronger and stronger until it was transformed into a reality, the reality of what happened in 1948. I was living in Lida, and Lida was conquered like other cities, and well, the atrocities are there. Read chapter 8 if you like in the book, and you will hear my voice, the blind voice. You will hear it. You are welcome to think what you like of it. It was awful. As far as I am concerned, it was awful, and it remains awful. It remains awful, and maybe this is one other major reason for wanting to write this book. What the Israelis or the Jews or what they did is unforgivable and unforgettable. What they did, though, now that I am an adult and I can think not as a child but as someone else, what they have done is understandable. Unfortunately, it was a problem of rabies, frankly. Rabies. By which I mean this, that Europe, the West, treated the Jews very, very uglily from the beginning. That is to say, almost the beginning of Christianity. This business of anti-Semitism has been with us for hundreds upon hundreds of years. And anti-Semitism finally culminated in the Holocaust. Yes, the Holocaust. And the Jews suffered, and suffered terribly, and suffered completely, unjustly. The problem is that they were bitten, shall we say, they were bitten by the Western dogs. They were bitten, and they contracted the disease of persecution. They were persecuted, and then they came to my country and they persecuted us. That is to say, they got the Western disease of this kind of cruelty, this kind of injustice. This is why I wrote my book. And I wrote this book not only for America, not only for Palestine, but for everybody to remember that you cannot treat people, no matter who they are or where they are, the way the Jews were treated and the way the Jews have treated us. It is a shame on humanity, and frankly, it's a shame on Western civilization. Thank you very much.